So coming to our first presenter, he comes from Italy. He works for Unico, which is one of the biggest pharmaceutical wholesalers in Italy. Unico is a long-standing customer of KNAPP with several automated warehouses, ranging from highly automated to low automated warehouses. Antonio will tell us about his market, the challenges he faces with his company on those markets, the approach towards vertical integration, and how all fits in together. So please welcome on stage Executive Director from Unico, Antonio Aitoro.
Ciao, thank you. Just test, maybe it works. Let's hope so. No, it's already on. Okay, do that. Right. So I promise not to go over time. So first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm honored, I must tell you. I'm honored to be here because there are a lot of my colleagues from other parts of the world and sharing an experience which well, maybe it's different, maybe it's going on towards a level that someone of you has already reached. Okay, it's exciting for me. I hope you will find something interesting in my presentation. I appreciated a lot the previous one. I haven't got special effects, so sorry, but I hope to leave some messages that can be shared and maybe can be discussed afterwards during the lunch phase. Okay. Here we go. My aim is to guide you through a path that, of course, is related to the Italian market, but has got some value that anyway can be shared. And I am very glad to be here with a lot of international experiences, just in order. I was telling you before, sharing ideas about how you perform, how you shaped your organization in order to have performance in a world that we are currently reaching. Not yet. So I will give you a company overview, then we will speak about a disruptive change in our scenario. The big shift paradigm, this is my message for today, together with vertical integrations, and some issues about clients, logistics service, category, brand as a focus, and then, of course, we are here at home with KNAPP, with our supplier, with, I say, the key reason of our success, our performance effectiveness. So a new challenge for technology and automation, okay? My issue preparing these sheets was to define an environment where to put something that can be done, a path that can be worked together. So we go. Few words about Unico. We are dealing about the Italian market, so it's not so big, I must say. We are a company that has a turnover of 1.23 billion euros, 172 million units sold, 5.5 million deliveries. 4 of the wholesaling companies in Italy has more than 55% of the market nowadays. We come from a long tradition, okay, the cooperatives that merged for the first time creating Unico dated back in the 50s. Since the foundation, the company grew continuously by merging homogeneous companies, so mainly cooperatives. Now we are a joint stock company owned by Italian pharmacists. We have a nationwide acknowledged presence and reputation with significant figures. Just to focus on what we are, the company is pharmacy-oriented. The company is independent pharmacy-oriented. This is because his owners are pharmacists. This means that our main mission is to support the independent pharmacies with choices that sometimes are very hard to do. We have more than 70,600 clients in 20 regions, 92 provinces, let's say the whole of Italy except of the isle of Sardinia. The company is privately owned. 68,000 SKUs directly available in 10 warehouses. You find the same data in our website for my colleagues who are taking pictures. The biggest player in Italy for homeopathic products where we have a specialty. KNAPP was with us from the very, very beginning. I think I was a university student when everything started. Nowadays we have 10 automated warehouses, 16 SDA tunnels, we have 2 OSR towers installed, 23,000 ejectors, more than 700 dispatch chutes. The building status is nearly 100,000 square meters. Just to show you some figures, the first one is our, let's say, deployment in Italy. Of course, while the Italian pharmaceutical market is various, we have a tradition of coming from being a northern company, but we perform well, very, very well in the center, in Rome, and now in Bari and Sicily. Our OSR installed in the Novara site 10 years, let's say 9 years ago. We are very proud. It was a case of great success. Our friends of KNAPP are moving people around and bringing potential clients to our site usually because we share an experience, we share a success, and we do think that this kind of automation is and will be the future for our strategical deployment. This is a site I'm very proud of. This is a double-deck site, completely parallel flow that we developed together with the friends of KNAPP, together with Filippo Indovina. It has an outstanding capability of being ultra fast. We have an order made in a 3+3 manual station and a very long SDA on the side. Let's say an order in 1 minute and 30 seconds from the launch. That means performance. And some figures. The guy from KNAPP before told me the joke. So, okay, we run 200,000 kilometers each day. So it means we make 1,500 complete round turn of Earth any year. We have 650 trucks. I will be saying something about the network because network, the grid is a value. Shipments, 10 automated warehouses, 20 transit points, a control tower. We are very, very centralized, meaning that each of our warehouses stands alone as a performance deliverer, but we control it from our headquarters. We have EBDR technology to, let's say, monitor the network in any phase since the very beginning of the loading to the end of the drop. The disruption. Well, I passed 5 years, nearly 5 years, in the books and magazine business before returning back to Unico. And it was a time when Amazon was coming to the Italian market. The first 2 years of this experience, well, they were very nice. I tell you this joke just to say that disruption is everywhere, and you cannot stand thinking that what you are doing this day can be done easily in the next period without thinking to something new. So we were, as an editor, the main one, I worked for Mondadori, we were very, very proud of our, okay, let's say, situation. We were absolute leader in book selling. Okay, after 2 years, okay, the integration of Amazon as a buyer was so deep that it was, let's say, not renounceable, okay? The disruption had taken place and we had to completely change all of our logistic process to follow the needs of our principal buyer. What we do here is the pharmaceutical distribution market in Italy is, let's say, undergoing a disruptive change. There is nothing negative on it, but simply a law decree that in August came out allowing the capital, okay, to enter the market at certain conditions, but it means that the new regulation allows the entry of capital and will lead to a fast change in the geographic deployment with the implementation and growth of multinational companies owned pharmacy retail chains. This is a fact. And we have to confront with this because before, okay, it was different. We live in a country where 60,000 pharmacies are usually independently owned, individuals, let's say so. You have a relationship with them of the kind I think a lot of you are very well used to, but the system is not properly tuned to deal with something different. Meanwhile, the margins are decreasing and the competition is tight and is going on prices with no reference to service. For the companies in the market that made a status of delivering best offline service, this is a problem because competing on price leaves you without margins and told to our friends of KNAPP without the possibility to invent something new, investing in technology and automation, which has always been our way of behaving, way of thinking to the future. The traditional model of the pharmacy as an independent, let's say, privately owned singularity is changing, will be changing. New actors will arrive in the market, maybe actors that are not still yet named, meaning, for example, investment funds or things like that. And the value of brand will be increasing. We will focus mainly on brand afterwards. But what we are used to, and it's a joke, but usually our company are not so well known in the market. You work for a wholesalers in the pharmaceutical distribution business, okay, and people usually ask, what? Okay, because they don't know who you are, okay? The mission is transparent. You deliver a wonderful service, but you are transparent to the market. So now brand is, is going to be something interesting also for us. And then just a line, the danger of direct relation. If, we were together with some of the colleagues here at a congress in Italy 2 or 3 months ago, we were informed of the fact that the main manufacturers are obviously thinking on a direct relation with the final user, with the final client. That means a lot, because on one way, of course, we cannot think of standing in front of this kind of financial institution, worldwide financial institution. But what is happening that a direct relation between the manufacturer and the final client make us, put us at risk of being some way overhand. This is a concept I will stress. The big shift, this is my message for today, and I was thinking about the fact as wholesalers, I speak about Italy by now. I think that some of this experience had already been lived in other countries, but we are combat ready for a war that is not worth to be fought. Because the questions we pose is, will someone need our unparalleled service level? We have a 2-hour service level agreement in Italy. It's a fact. We go usually, well, in a town, a city environment, we reach a pharmacy 4-5 times a day, okay? Which means 2 hours, okay? The B2C famous retailers are not doing the same, okay? I'm always using this example. But will someone pay for 70,000 SKU assortment, which is a cost? Will someone give value to a customer service that is near, well, that occupies near than 100 people? This I speak for my company, for example. And will our balance stand positive? It is so effective by purchase prices, and on the other side, there's a war on the selling prices. Will we be able to keep our system active in a changing scenario? And, well, the big questions are, which are the reasons of our presence? I will try to give you an answer, but I don't know if my answer is the correct one. Are we perceived as a value or as something that will be overwhelmed by the change? Because this is a problem that involves our kind of company institution, but also our main suppliers. Can we change? Can we adapt? Is there a message of hope that we can find in this scenario changing? I think yes. The basic idea is to survive. The process is Darwinian. And when we speak about a need to shift, we mean a complete displacement from what we are on what we will have to be. Or we decide to shift. So we move. Okay, move is the title of this meeting. Okay, we move dynamically, but moving is in our DNA. Together with speed, efficiency, competence, skill, we are able to design, we are able to project new ways of doing things, okay? We shift toward a new role in the market that is not always so adjacent to our standards. This is complicated. I wrote this complex, but it's complicated because it's just a jump in the night. Because we know our job, we know how to do it, we share experiences on how to do it in the best way, but well, not all of us, especially in Italy, are used, are fit, are ready for this kind of change that will imply transition from logistics provider to retail. Here is the example of someone else. I don't speak about someone else in this presentation, but this is a fact that the whole system, after this change of scenario, after this role engagement, will have to focus on a competition that maybe will come from something else, from someone else. That is, of course, the majors B2C retailers. From clients to chains. Of course, especially Unico, but no one of us is speaking about starting a pharma chain, but let's keep it simple. Unity is strength. We always say it. So we start from a disaggregated model of independent pharmacies that has lasted for decades, but it's not the best way to stand in front of new competitive players. Case they want to compete, because there are also other solutions. The first one is selling the pharmacy and accepting the change in another way. The new law allows capital investment in pharmacies. Okay, the big pharma retailers will enter in the market, that's it. But also new subjects are coming around and searching and looking for a return of investment in the healthcare sector, generally speaking. Okay. On the other side, well, for the independent pharmacy today in Italy, there is a push, a strong, let's say, effort toward aggregations in various forms. Here I name someone, okay, simple group, purchasing group typically, participation of capital, that now is possible, ownership, franchising models. Just to leave you with a figure, I'm so sorry, it's so simple, but it means we are shifting towards, let's say, a situation that is rather bigger, maybe very well ordered, but if you think that here in the middle our warehouses are standing, okay, we ask ourselves which will be the future in a situation of this kind, aggregation. So my first answer, and speaking vertically, I want to introduce the concept, is going from logistics service to logistics as a service. We all have no doubt that our kind of service level offered exceeds the highest standards. But what are we? Well, we have a logistic network fulfilling GDP standards that is a driving factor of change and can be adapted, offered as a service. The service level in the future will be reduced because there will be no need to go 2, 3, 4 times to the same place in the same day. Because aggregation means organization, so focus on stock planning, inventory management, so we avoid continuous refilling because we are focused on selling. And here we see the distribution network as a potential profit generator. I will give you figures about it. Current total warehouse capability, I'm speaking about Italy, exceeds the new needs. But in the same time, the size of the average warehouse will have to be increased. So there is room for a design and a technological insertion inside the new concept of these warehouses. New features will be added to standard fulfillment operations. If you think about a shop and how is organized, for example, in a chain organization, you can imagine to fulfill in zones, to change completely your approach to the managed inventory. You can imagine to offer visual merchandising service with your network, which is a change of paradigm from carrier to technical courier. We are thinking about it. What we did, here I just give you a short window of visibility. We started from a statement saying, okay, we have agreed that in Italy is able to reach 10,000 destination each day. So this grid can be easily implemented because, okay, there is a problem of capacity, but there is not a problem of organization. We are active in identifying and developing IT support features, meaning proof of delivery, integration with potential customers, and things like that. So the mission statement we tried to follow, and we are still doing it, is to be a GDP temperature-controlled express courier, which is some way different from the usual transporter that you find that is going from the pre-wholesaler to our warehouses every day. We have assets, organization, project management, and knowledge. So in this change of scenario, we thought it was possible to find a window of revenue, first of all in transportation. When we think about vertical integration, just to give you a reason why I came here, let's say, making this statement, of course, this is on the manufacturer, on the supplier side. It's a new kind of offer. Look here, pre-wholesale integration. What can we offer? We can offer last mile delivery with the highest standards. If we add integration of data and proof of delivery in the same way that the current actors in the market are offering, we are winning because our capability can be saturated and can be scalable. Pick and drop fast service. Try to imagine a service, okay, regionally speaking, of course, when I can go to a pre-wholesalers and pick and drop to a pharmacy a direct order with my standard of delivery of 2 hours. They are not offering it. We are. And here we can find a common reason on value. Wholesale distribution networks can be, well, our capacity can be increased in numbers, which means only new routes, but in features, so track and traces, integration with customers, specialized dedicated services. And as a final objective, we could easily develop also the primary line haul that now we are not interested in. But when we have a volume that is, let's say, that is enough to sustain the economic balance, we can also think about structuring a line haul. I must say that nowadays we are doing it and we are preparing it. So vertical integration as first issue towards manufacturers, new kind of service that a wholesaler can offer. On the other side, now we focus to the pharmacy. Of course, we were speaking about the 70,000 SKUs directly available. But when we speak about a chain, let's say a group, someone that is moving, let's say, in a synchronous way, of course, the transition of the concept is to category management. What we did? Well, we will have a progressive change in the display of the pharmacy. This is for sure because there is a change in display strategy that is connected, strictly connected to the negotiation with manufacturers, to partnership with manufacturers. So, having a chain, having a group that synchronously moves, okay, means focusing on certain products, on certain lines. So, going this way is a key factor in the retail operation, but deeply affects the organization and structure of logistics support. This will happen. I'm not dealing about the bulk shipping, which is of no interest on our side. But think about the fact of having a chain. I speak about a chain, not mentioning the name or that is focused on maximizing the retail spaces. I need space in order to show, in order to give a market view on, to the producers. So the idea is to offer function of fast replenishing that, look here. Oh, sorry. This feature matches exactly the current wholesaler capability and skills. It's our job to be fast, to fulfill, to replenish. So these features are adjacent and can be easily offered. So if the market changes and the new requirements are that of a chain, we can do something for them. Meanwhile, we did a lot. But first of all, we were focusing on process design. We identified an issue. Any pharmacy nowadays is going to replenish his shop, let's say in Italy at least 2 times a day. Let's say in Italy usually using 2, 3, 4, in Milan 7 wholesalers. I'm not joking. So it's so unbelievable, you know. But anyway, okay, it's what was happening and is happening now. We prepared a centralized automatic replenishment feature of, a feature that mainly is a software-based ensemble of formulas, of replenishment formulas, that allow the pharmacy to put out an order, not to us, not definitely to Unico as unique wholesaler, okay? But we can help them in calculate the replenishment formulas and on the base of sell-in and sell-out information that have to be available, of course, prepare and launch the order to any wholesaler they need. Then we go deeper and we begin to make an assortment consultancy, saying that, okay, let's focus on your current assortment in the pharmacy. Is it the right one to fulfill the needs of your clients? Okay? Your percentage of good at first shot, not the standard, okay, you need this, come back in 2 hours, so you will have the product, okay? How are you performing that way? With our system, which is based on of course, on a statistical mechanism of calculation, you can change dynamically your assortment and be fit, okay, for a good at first shot effect. Then we create together the base for rationalization. We say, okay, we studied your assortment, now we are going to propose you. We are not speaking about category management. We are proposing you the best assortment you have to have. This is a service we are offering because we have experience. Then, on this base, you can also think to qualify your kind of products, having different strategies, of course, and you can begin to think to reduce the number of shipments. I'm not speaking about reducing the number of wholesalers. If you want to have 7 of them, be happy. Okay, I'm offering a service. But this service, this link, this integration with our clients give us the way to prepare them for a future that could be, not necessarily will, a future of common activity in deciding replenishment strategy. So we have the system, okay, that links pharmacies that want to perform together in a category management oriented process. Of course, this is an idea I share with a lot of people inside. I'm sorry if probably in Europe and in other countries this already happened. But if we give them full visibility with a cockpit on what they are doing, with simple parameters, simple KPIs, easy to read. We were speaking about simplicity some hours before. Okay, we transform the owner of a pharmacy in a general manager of a retail unit. And this is an increase in their potential to remain in the market because they can focus on what they are. I explained we are owned by Italian pharmacists, and for us, the Pharmaceutical Council, the pharmacist presence inside a pharmacy is something characterizing. Okay, so we are not dealing about retail on the base of just a business case. I'm sorry. What we obtain implementing this software that is currently undergoing the end of the test and is already running in a lot of our pharmacies. Reduction of missed sales, time optimization, because they do not have to prepare the order. The order is self-calculated. Management of different replenishment sources. So if you want to have 2-3 wholesalers, no problem. Real planning of replenishment orders. So there is no emotion because someone, if you know them, they are ordering on the basis of an emotional push. Okay, I need it. No, it's not. It's not. Read. These are the statistics. Here I have the cockpit. This is the product that you are selling 3 times a week. Okay, you need 4 in the pharmacy, and that's over. Okay, you want to be replenishment twice a week. Okay, you need 2. Okay, you don't need 5, 10, and so. The system, of course, matches with all the offers, with everything is needed to compete in the market. We have full integration with the robot, which is, well, last year we saw the solution, and also today something has been said. But anyway, this is a standard that is coming through in Italy day by day. Warehouse management optimization, warehouse loading optimization, more time left for professional advice, and generally reduction of delayed sales. VIA, this is an Italian word that means go, okay? So vertical integration approach was born as a joke. The issue is philosophical, you have to forgive me. Because integration means creating a link, a tie with a common language. First problem, do we speak a common language? Do we have the same objectives? I don't know. I think to share with all of you a common value as logistics people, as people involved in processes, in designing processes. I think we share a common way of thinking. The way we think to solution are the same wherever we are. With the clients and with suppliers, maybe it's not so easy. Integration means moving each part of the system in a synchronous way. Another problem, we have different frequencies, okay? And we have different times of decision, okay? We always use a joke in our company, we are used to zero time decision, which was one of our mottos. It's not always like this. Integration means the changes affecting one part will have effects on the other. It's like a blanket, you know. You move something, it goes somewhere else, covering or uncovering parts of the other. Integration is not easy and needs commitment. When we say that we aim to vertically integrate, we aim to have a role and to defend, this is our statement, a role for the pharmacy. Meaning that if the connection is between manufacturer, between product and the clients, because the process is healthcare service, we mean to be a protagonist in this kind of effort. And this means finding solution. Accepting a change in the scenario that could mean in the long term the end of our scope as company. Same example, Nokia. Okay, they were a tire producer, recruiting and involving new sources. This is a problem that I think that our friends of KNAPP are living any day. The market changes. I need the resources that are tuned. So I don't need a buyer, a replenisher. Maybe I need a category manager. I hadn't any category manager before. So I have to find them, and I have to be able to find the best resources. Deciding the features of the existing business that have to be highlighted, and the features that will have to be abandoned. And setting a new path and struggling, because we are here to survive. So the strategy of vertical integration is creating a link with the chain, generally speaking. Becoming part of a branded market offer, brand becomes an issue. Shifting from being the wholesaler to a logistics service provider with focus on value-added services. Of course, we can offer support services everywhere, administration, HR, training, facility management, IT, security, reshaping the purchasing and procurement function. I was saying it before. We need marketing initiatives presidium and category managers. Well, there has to be something important for technology and automation. Technology and automation had been the backbone of our structural development in the last 15 years. I can tell you about a company that in Italy, I can assure you that these figures are not so low. Let's say we invested more than 75 million euros in warehouses and automation in 12 to 13 years. Meaning that we prepared for a future where we thought that, well, technology is not manpower reduction. Technology means being adapted, being available and flexible to multiplicity, scalable effects. These are my messages. Of course, the automation standard, in our opinion, will be disrupted. I want to go deep in these lines. List of new requirements. Automatic warehouse for central stock. I was telling you before that in Italy we have a lot of warehouses that are able to fulfill and to perform with a service level of 2, 3, 4 times a day. Usually they are not so big. They haven't got the features, the characteristics that maybe will make them fit to survive in the future. Solution for products personalization. This is an issue. For example, we offer a service to a chain on the client side or to a manufacturer to the other side. Okay, just simply putting a label. Simply putting a label on the product for an offer that has to be fulfilled in the market. So personalizing. Inventory management solution and planning, I was telling you before something about it. Shift of focus from order picking to structure picking. We go for zones, we go for category management oriented picking, something that has to be discussed and made in concepts. High-speed sorting for thoughts and cartoons. Nowadays, in all of our bases in Italy, let's say from now 2 from 3, by the end of the year we will have 10 manufacturers are sending products to be delivered in the pharmaceutical channel in our basis. This means that usually we have to sort parcels that are labeled, not always, that have to be integrated in our system and that needs proper sorting and load preparation. These are concepts that usually as wholesaler we were not used to. Okay, mixed kind of products. Of course, any of these product has a GDP standard requirement, but we are not used to that. And maybe our friends of KNAPP will be called one day if one of us, maybe not Unico, I'm just saying, will specialize in offering this kind of service for the last mile, okay, in creating the base sorting for tools and cartoons. Needless to say that when I see the OSR installation and we are thinking about sequencing is a good concept you were offering us before. I am speaking about it. Okay, so I can use an OSR to sequence and maybe I can use what is now a picking and fulfilling station as a labeling station, as something that can be used in order to organize the process of last mile that will be offered not only to our flows. And automatic processing of returns of any kind, not only for our products. IT solution to provide full share visibility among the chain. I know that you are developing a lot in terms of IT, WCS, and so on. I think that something can be done to deepen integration, let's say so. And of course, there is a case, there is a trend on picking robot in pharmacy and integration with robots. Our centralized automatic replenishment system usually, let's say, integrates very well with a robotized pharmacy. Need of continuous professional shift. I'm getting older because I'm 50 this year. And I must tell you that we always run the risk of being overwhelmed by times, by what is new, what maybe by what we have not seen as a growing issue in the market. So you always need to be aware and ready to shift. This is the last one. There is nothing new in rediscovering the core. So the scenario is subject to a disruptive change. There is room for opportunity. We have to be optimistic. The service paradigm of the traditional wholesaler will be no longer fit to the new market. To survive the impact, we have to change. But we are, I think, top-of-class logistics. New ties to clients that are evolving from singularity to multiplicity. You have to deal with a new scenario and you have to find a way to tighten links to make them aware that, okay, you can still have a role, even in defending them, even in creating an umbrella over their group. Excellence. We are at home with excellence here, and I am very proud to have been invited by my friends in KNAPP after so many years. So you are the excellence in automation, in innovation, in process engineering, but we are growing and we grew with you during these decades. So we know how to do. We have a know-how that can be used. it's a matter of awareness. I also say it's a matter of strength, not to abandon hopes. And it's a matter of rediscovery our core. I always say that wholesaling is a top-class logistics operation with let's say, just a jacket of commercial attitude, okay? So we are among logistics people, and we share a value and a vision on the role of technology. I do think that there is a future. I don't know if there will be a future of the wholesaler of our kind, but anyway, we are here to discover what will come next, okay? Right, that's it.
Thank you very much, Antonio.
I go and cut down the microphone. Okay.
Bear with me a minute. Any questions from the audience? If not, I've got one I'm curious about. You've mentioned the several services in your presentation. How are those being received by the pharmacists? So, for example, what I know about intelligent replenishing and no emotional purchases. You mentioned too. It's already difficult in countries where wholesale and pharmacy is under same ownership. To bring the pharmacist to accept this. Smart replenishment. And in your country, where there's still, if the pharmacy is independent, how do they? What do they say to this? How do they receive this?
I give you an answer that is based on commitment. Okay. We tested this solution, of course, with pharmacies that were, let's say, available to make these tests. The initial phase, I think the first 2 weeks of the very first one were terrible. Okay, because he was convinced that apart the fact that he knew that it wouldn't have worked. Okay, anyway. After 2 weeks, the guy was flying for his holidays, okay? And the system is now performing, I say, 8 months with no failure, with reduction of the pharmacy stock, with the assortment focus, and we used the guy, which was, he was not one of our friends, and we chose him because we wanted an independent vision on what we were doing. He is one of our main supporters by now. We think that this kind of system, anyone is developing something like that. Of course, if you own a chain, you have this system at a very high level of features, of planning and things like that. What I say, dealing with the independent pharmacy, you have a key issue. You are giving him a way to spare time, spare resources, and focus on what he knows very well to do, selling his things in the best way, giving advice. It's a success. And by the way, and just as a logistics, not as a member, an active member of a wholesaling company, giving instruments, giving tools that works, in my vision, is what we are called to offer them, and it comes before selling them goods. I tell you. Okay.
Absolutely excellent.
Okay, but anyway.
Any questions from the audience? No. If not, then
I see you afterwards at lunch.
Antonio Aitoro. Thank you very much, Antonio.